Good morning! Halika, magkape tayo. Our text for today's reflection comes from the Gospel of Matthew chapter 25 verses 1 to 13. It says, "At that time, the kingdom of heaven will be like 10 virgins who took their lamps and went out to meet the bridegroom. 5 of them were foolish and 5 were wise. The foolish ones took their lamps but did not take any oil with them. The wise ones, however, took oil in jars along with their lamps. The bridegroom was a long time in coming, and they all became drowsy and fell asleep. At midnight, the cry rang out, 'Here's the bridegroom! Come out to meet him!' Then all the virgins woke up and trimmed their lamps. The foolish ones said to the wise, 'Give us some of your oil. Our lamps are going out.' 'No,' they replied. 'There may not be enough for both of us and you. Instead, go to those who sell oil and buy some for yourselves.' But while they were on their way to buy the oil, the bridegroom arrived. The virgins who were ready went in with him to the wedding banquet, and the door was shut. Later the others came also, and they said, 'Lord, Lord, open the door for us.' But he replied, 'Truly I tell you, I do not know you. Therefore keep watch, because you do not know the day or the hour.'" Thus is the reading of today's gospel reflection. What it is for us today? What is God's message to us through this gospel parable? Parable of the 10 virgins. By the way pala, sabi nga, this parable is known as the parable of the 10 virgins, but the 5 were foolish daw. But actually, they were not literally foolish. It's just that they were unprepared. The whole parable story actually portrays to us today the scene, the actual scene on how a wedding feasts, well, including the ceremony, the rite of a wedding in a Jewish family in Palestine. So that is the gospel for today's reflection. And if I'm not mistaken, this was also the gospel yesterday, Sunday. A wedding celebration in Palestine is always a unique and a happy occasion. A wedding was a great occasion. The whole village turned out to accompany the couple to their new home. And they went by the longest possible road in order that they might receive the glad and good wishes of as many as possible. The point of this story lies in a Jewish custom which is very different from anything we know today. Yan, sabi ko, ang wedding actually nila is doon gaganapin sa bahay ng girl, and then the bridegroom, mostly during the night, magmamarch siya yan galing someplace, and then iikot yan sa buong neighborhood to invite some more friends and well-wishers for the celebration of the wedding na gaganapin sa bahay ng girl. So, in the middle of the night, walang time frame yun. Bigla na lang darating ang bridegroom And then when the bridegroom comes, lahat dapat naka-ready na sila. Ready na. And then when the march of the bridegroom together with all other good well-wishers, magsabay-sabay yan silang lahat in procession going to the house of the girl na doon gaganapin ang wedding rites at yun, celebration. And yung kanilang wedding celebration normally lasts for 1 week. And the moment the bridegroom comes in, the door is closed. When the door is closed, sorry for you guys, I do not know you. When the door is closed, kahit late ka, hindi ka na papapasukin. And that's the point in the gospel today. So as I've said a while ago, ang pinoportray ng wedding dito sa Palestine during that time is true to life story talaga ito. It's just na ginamit ni Jesus because he wanted to show, to throw to us a lesson, a moral for all of us today. The moral supports the theme of the whole gospel parable. Continue natin. To the festivities of that week, their chosen friends were admitted, and it was not only the marriage ceremony, it was also the joyous week-long celebration that the foolish virgins mentioned just now missed the whole entourage because they were unprepared. Okay? Like so many parables of Jesus, this one parable of the 10 virgins has an immediate and local meaning and also a wider and universal meaning. Number 1, in its immediate significance, it was directed towards the Jews. They were the chosen people. The whole history should have been in preparation for the coming of the Messiah, the Son of Man. They ought to have been prepared for him when he comes. Instead, they were quite unprepared and therefore were shut out. Here is a dramatic form. This parable, here in dramatic form, is a tragedy of the unpreparedness of the Jewish people. That's the first significance of the whole parable, directed towards the Jews. But the parable has at least also 2 universal lessons. Actually, it comes to us not just as a lesson, but as a warning. Ano bang warning ito? Number 1, it warns us that there are certain things in life that cannot be obtained in the last minute of our life. Ulitin ko. It warns us that there are certain things which cannot be obtained at the last minute. For example, it is far too late for a student to be preparing when the day of the examination has come. Right? It is too late for a man to acquire a skill or knowledge or a character if he does not already possess it. When some task or challenge offers itself to him, hindi pwedeng immediately now na saka ka na maghanda and mag-build ng yung character dahil ito na, kailangan na, katapusan na. Hindi naman pwede na every day we are always reminded to prepare for the life ahead of us and ultimately to the last journey in life. Sunday after Sunday, we are reminded to prepare for the things to come. And then every day in our lives, we just keep on, saka na, mamaya na, sige na lang kung andyan na, that cannot be. Okay? So that's the lesson number 1 for us. There are certain things in life that cannot be obtained during our last minute. Hindi pwedeng time out muna. Okay? Number 2, It warns us that there are certain things in life that cannot be borrowed. Underline, borrowed. Hindi pwede sa buhay ng tao na especially during our last moment, hindi ka pwedeng manghiram. Hindi ka pwedeng manghiram. Very touching ito Na-touch kasi ako nito The foolish virgins found it impossible to borrow oil. Alam nila yun. When they discovered they needed it. A man cannot borrow relationship with God. Underline. Hindi pwede yung last moment, nagkasakit ka na hospital ka na, something happened that needed some kind of immediate preparation because you feel it's your last moment, at saka ka na, dali-dali ka nang kikilalanin si Lord. Saka ka nang magdali-daling magbasa ng Biblia. Saka ka na magdali-dali kang magbasa na yung church history. Saka ka na mag-establish ng relationship with your family members, relatives, friends, yung ka-church natin. No. Hindi pwede yun. There are things that cannot be borrowed, especially during that last moment. Ibig sabihin, habang may buhay ka pa, relate. Habang may buhay ka pa, share. Habang may buhay ka pa, reach out to others. Habang may buhay ka pa, establish relationship. That's the way God wants us to show within ourselves that intimate relationship with God shown to our neighbors. So habang may buhay, ano ba kasabihan natin? Habang may buhay, may pag-asa. Diba? Pero seriously, these two important reminders or moral or lessons is actually directed to us. This is something beyond the Jewish people. It is directed to me, to you, and to all of us. And that is also our challenge today. Are we really prepared for our personal death, for the parousia, the second coming, or some other people call it end time event, in which nobody knows? Or are we really prepared to meet the Lord every day in the ordinariness of life? Habang nakipaghalubilo tayo ng mga tao, there is the presence of God. So are we ready to encounter Jesus in our life today? And that is our challenge. Daily, as we relate with people, as we prepare for our personal death, and as we prepare ultimately for the coming of Jesus, the parousia, the end time event. And I guess that's the reminder in the gospel parable of the 10 virgins, where 5 were foolish, not because they were literally foolish, because they were not prepared for the eventuality to come. Knowledge-wise, alam nila yon. I don't know, maybe they were just lazy. Pagdating na sa panahon na andito na ang bridegroom, saka na sa nagdali-dali maghanap ng extra oil. So Jesus used the term foolish to describe the other 5 virgins who were unprepared. So mga kapatid, yan din ang challenge sa atin. Are we prepared for the eventualities that comes our way? Good morning ulit, magandang umaga at magandang buhay. See you tomorrow.